What's up?
Last night I was thrown in the hole for trying to do our recording yesterday together. I'm in solitary confinement, the worst by far I've ever been in, at the Rappahannock Regional Jail. The rules to solitary confinement are 47 hours in the cell, 1 hour out. So every other day you come out for 1 hour. I get 3 showers per week. Over the weekend I do over 72 hours without a shower. I'm currently on a hunger strike protesting this abhorrent human abuse. I will be going until they change my situations. They've taken away my tablet. There's no chair or anything to sit on in my cell. Basically have a 2-inch mattress on the floor of a cell with no windows in it. The window to my cell door is also closed, so I don't know what time it is. I don't get to see any human faces down here. The people that have been down here, for some of them for months, have never even seen each other. I'll get no human interaction the entire time I'm down here, and on top of it, I have not even received any disciplinary report or any charges claiming that I've done anything wrong. They brought me down here pending investigation. This is the 6th time that I've been thrown in the hole since I've been locked up, pending investigation without any disciplinary charges, for saying speeches, for doing interviews, for just being a general patriot and speaking out against the tyranny that we're living under.
Wow. Wow.
This is what they want to do to every American who dares to stand up against Joe Biden's communist regime, who dares to stand against tyranny. This is what your fate is aligned for. If you have a backbone and you dare to stand on the integrity of the Constitution, they will abuse you for 22 and a half months in solitary confinement. I've survived through, by God's grace, and they will try to destroy you. But if you have your faith in God and put your trust in Him, you can make it through anything.
How did this all go down?
As you know, last night when we were doing our video call to try to even set up, we weren't even broadcasting yet. We were just doing the logistics. They kept on shutting down the video call on us. And so an hour later, they came to my cell door. They told me, pack up your stuff. We'll tell you where you're going. I said, oh, so this is how you guys treat Trump supporters in Rappahannock Regional Jail. Like I'm El Chapo or something like that. You're going to bring me down to the hole. You're going to separate me from everyone. Yeah, we'll tell you where we're going a little bit. I said, you guys call yourself Trump supporters and patriots here. You know, the guards here in middle central Virginia, they like to pretend that they're Republicans or that they're patriots or something the Nazis were, just listening to whoever's giving them orders and continuing to treat patriots inhumane and absolutely. At least dogs get walked once a day, Don. I'm sitting in here now 48 hours at a time without even leaving the cell for the foreseeable future. 3 showers a week, over 72 hours in a row without a shower, every single weekend. So, this is it. This is tyranny. They're trying to rip my voice away from me. God knows if they'll turn off my ability to use the phone soon. They're sticking me in a hole without any windows, without any window to the hallway, ripping my voice from me. I haven't been found guilty of any crime. This is, George Orwell, they say people get unpersoned. I've been real life canceled. I've been unpersoned, stuck in the basement of a political prison, and treated worse than dogs.
And you have no idea how long this could go on?
Last time I was stuck in the hole in D.C. jail, pending investigation, they had me down there for 4 months, living in similar conditions. But at least there, I was out of my cell once every day to use the phone. I don't know, next time I'll get the phone. They roll the phone up to my tray slot where they pass the food through, and they stick the phone through the same little slot that they put the food through, and I'm sitting on the ground right now talking to you from just an hour and a half outside the United States Capitol. Humans are being abused and mistreated in some of the most grotesque ways I've ever experienced. And I've been a political prisoner for almost 23 months, stuck in the hole at every single facility, over 9 facilities I've been at. And this place here is no joke. This is, I don't even know, what time is it? What day is it? I've been down here for 2 days, I think. I don't even know. I have no clock. I just have a Bible and a sheet for my bed.
Well, it's Sunday, brother, and it's about noon Eastern, so you can have some kind of a perspective.
Yeah, there's no window. There's no circadian rhythm. I don't know when to sleep, when to be awake. The light stays on in my room 24/7. There's nowhere to sit down. I just have to sit on the floor and just pray to God all day. I mean, this is what we're living in. This is real life. 1984 George Orwell. Tell them 2 + 2 = 5, or else we'll keep you down in the basement of the jail, rotting away as a political prisoner until you tell us the election wasn't stolen, until you tell us Joe Biden's a great president who has our best interests and our liberty at heart. I kneel yesterday to take off my handcuffs. I told them I kneel to no man. I only kneel for God. So they had to remove my handcuffs with me standing up because I refused to kneel. I mean, these people, they're feckless, they're spineless, and they will be judged one day by Almighty God. And they'll have to pay the price for their sins and their cowardice. It's the Marshals, it's the U.S. Department of Justice, it's the DOC, Department of Corrections, it's all these private prisons that I've been bounced around to that are just money-making empires. Every little thing is money. They're trying to get me to pay $300 a month just to eat my religious diet, my kosher food. I mean, these places are money-making empires. The U.S. Marshals, the federal government is paying Rappahannock Regional Jail like $300 to $400 per day for me to be housed here. They farm out all these federal inmates, all 900 January 6ers, or all the ones that are still left, to all these private prisons with the federal contracts, and they're making exorbitant amounts of money off us. This whole entire thing is just a sham. It's a money-making scheme. The federal courts are, all of them are, they're in business. Business is booming. All of the January 6ers are being found guilty on every single charge in the biased jury pools in Washington, D.C. It's a complete racket. It's a banana republic. This is not America. This is like North Korea. I'm a political descendant being punished for using my freedom of speech and for protesting a stolen election and saving 2 people's lives that day. And I'm being treated like, El Chapo or some type of MS-13, multiple murder gang member. I'm being treated worse than they are. They're in general population while I'm sitting down here.
And there's no advocate that you can speak to, like in a hospital, a patient advocate. Do you have an inmate advocate?
You're my advocate, Don. Your voice, the voice of the patriots out there in the world, are the only advocate we have. The free press and the free media, which we were exercising yesterday when we tried to do an episode of my Political Prisoner podcast together. I'm a journalist, and I'm being withheld from my constitutional right of freedom of the press and freedom of speech. And, the only voice of the people is on Real America's Voice, on Gateway Pundit, on Newsmax, OAN. That's the only advocate we have. If we don't hold these people accountable, nobody will. There's no governmental advocate. It's just we the people. The Constitution's our only advocate, Don.
So you're left in limbo once again.
Once again, down here, no tablet. All I've got is my Bible down here. I refuse to let them take that from me, and I got my contact list, so I still got your number here. There's a bunch of Jan 6ers that are in similar situations in solitary confinement all over. We have a legal fund we set up called j6legal.org that I'm running, and we're hiring attorneys for Jan 6ers all across the country to help them out. So go on there, make a donation. If you want to help out with my situation, you can go and call up the Rappahannock Regional Jail using this number and ask to speak to the watch commanders, ask to speak to Sergeant Foster, ask to speak to the deputy director, and ask why are you holding a political prisoner in the basement of your jail with no windows and no window outside to see who's in the hallway, to see any human faces throughout the day. The number for that is 540-288. 5245. That's 540-288-5245, and the lobby number is 400 to reach the lobby and to start asking questions and ask to speak to the management, ask to speak to the captain, the sergeants on duty, and keep asking questions until you get an answer. Hold these people accountable. Be diligent in your approach. Be professional and be peaceful and courteous, but ask them why you're treating human beings like this, especially pretrial detainee, a patriot. Call up that number. Start asking. Start calling up the U.S. Marshal. Start calling up the U.S. Attorney's Office. You know, we need to be men of action and women of action right now. This time in history calls for great action, and we need to be making those actions. The donations, the phone calls, and the prayers, and the letters that everyone writes. Those are the 4 key components here to making it out of this thing alive. So yeah, go to j6legal.org, make the donations. We're using them 100% transparent, and we're doing great negotiations with all the patriotic attorneys we're hiring, getting them for absolute patriotic rates, and make the phone calls to the jails. DC Jail, Warsaw Jail in West Virginia, Rappahannock Regional Jail, Alexandria, and Lewisburg Federal Penitentiary. All of those should be inundated with phone calls from patriots 24/7 asking why they're complicit in holding American heroes hostage.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It gets worse.
I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words.
It's, all we can do at sometimes like these is just, ask God to continue to deliver us, to continue to strengthen us, the patriots who have been locked away, our countrymen who are out there doing the right things, such as yourself and so many other brave ones who are working hard to save this country. We just have to trust in God right now and ask Him to continue to put His Spirit on us, to continue to let His Son live inside us and animate us and give us all things that are not possible by man alone, but only possible with God. God's setting Himself up for a massive redemption right now. A miracle is about to happen, and when the patriots are released from their imprisonment across the country and all these charges, these false, disgusting charges are all dropped, God's name will be glorified in America once again.
Amen.
What are your wishes with regard to this phone call?
I want people to make the donations, make the phone call to this jail, also to understand that I'm going to be on a hunger strike. They're threatening with stripping me naked and putting me in a suicide watch cell, so I might not have access to the phone anymore. The last hunger strike I did in DC jail lasted 12 days. I lost over 30 pounds. This hunger strike, I'm going to be relying on God to strengthen me throughout the entire time. My hunger strike's calling for 3 things: for the immediate release of all the January 6th pretrial defendants, have no criminal violent history.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Intense congressional investigation into the deaths of Ashley Babbitt and Roseanne Boylan and their murderers brought to justice, and a redress of our grievances that we had on January 6, 2021, where we stood up as peaceful free men against a stolen election. Those are my demands. I'll continue to hunger strike until they are met, and may God be with me and with all of the prayer warriors out there who support us and all the patriots.
Explained everything. Now that was sent to us through Cowboy Logic. So I just want to thank them. Let me see here. I want to thank them for bringing it to our attention, for sending it to us. Donna Fiducia and Donna America's Voice, Oplens TV, Mojo 50 TV and radio, and on Facebook. So thank you, Donna, for sending that out to us. The other thing that they shared with us was, one of the things that they'd really like for us to do is to put the word out to call Rappahannock Regional Jail. The phone number for that would be 540-288-5245. I'll repeat that as well. The phone number for that is 540-288-5245. And we've been asked that when you call that number, there's a few people that you can ask for. You can ask for Sergeant Foster or the Deputy Director. And if you can't reach either of those two, you can ask for the Sergeant on duty. And so like Jake had mentioned there, he's beginning a hunger strike. So, I mean, this is something that we'll definitely be keeping in touch with. But what we really need at this point would be an outpouring of support, calling Rappahannock facility. Jake also mentioned to give the marshals a call. So we'll put some action items on our website. We'll put it up on the Americans for Justice website, as well as the For Ashley website, so that you guys can reference that there as well. So, anybody have any questions? And asking for, and his lawyer had been asking for a medical procedure for quite some time. And I want to say it was last Monday. The plan was for him to be transferred to a hospital to have that medical procedure done. It's going to be like a 4 or 5 day stay. On Monday, instead of bringing him to the hospital, the marshals brought him to Northern Neck facility. At Northern Neck facility, I want to say a couple of days ago, he hadn't been feeling well. He possibly may have COVID at this point. But I know when we were there at Northern Neck on Friday, we were told that he had 103 temperature. Despite many, many, many efforts to get him medical attention, he really hasn't had anything in terms of medical attention. And so, you know, we spoke with his family today. Basically, there isn't much of a change. What's happening is his lawyer got involved, contacted the prosecutor. According to the prosecutor, nobody knows why he was even sent to Northern Neck in the first place. The marshals claim it was an accident. I'm not sure that anything with the marshals is an accident these days. So, I mean, it's just, it's unbelievable what's happening to these guys. And one of the things that Dominic Pizzola did say was, you know, he would rather be back here in D.C. in solitary confinement than at Northern Neck Regional. Just what he's experienced over the last week. No, you know, I think the marshals came in here, they did an inspection. The result of that inspection, the word that we got was that they said that the inmate request procedure and the inmate request form procedure was irreparably broken. What we're hearing is that the Northern Neck facility has been out of inmate request forms for the last 2 to 3 weeks so that nobody can get anything. And, you know, you ask me, I think a bit of that is intentional. So we have a team at Americans for Justice currently doing a deep dive investigation, especially what's going on in Northern Neck. And you guys heard it here on the live stream last week where I believe it was Grant who mentioned that if there was 2 things that they wish he wished they could have there at the jail. One was books, and 2 was religious services, both of which they are supposed to have it.
By their own bylaws.
By their own bylaws, by the state code, by the contract in which that facility operates. More importantly, all of those things reference, and this is part of the deep dive investigation work and research work that we're doing, is uncovering a lot of this. And one of the things that the code even speaks to, it speaks to the religious services. And that is to be provided to every single inmate. So they have, Northern Neck Regional has a board meeting that's open to the public once a month. It's the first Wednesday of every month. I'm going to be going there on Wednesday to attend that board meeting. Depending on what we find and what we uncover, there's a number of different things that are you know, it's very, very concerning, especially about Northern Neck. Number one, what we do know is there used to be a chaplain at that facility. When COVID started, they did away with the chaplain. Since that time, there is no religious services. Now, people in the community have volunteered to go in. Pastors from local churches have volunteered to go in. And they even, you know, at a prior business meeting, board meeting, they did indicate that they needed to look into it and resume religious services. And then when individuals approached the jail about providing that, basically every effort was shot down in the name of, well, we need somebody that can provide religious services for every religion. aka a chaplain. Now, this is a private institution. How much of this do you think has to do with money? And so, I mean, and more importantly, I mean, I think the biggest thing about Northern Neck, I believe at this point we have 25, 26 individuals there from J6 related. That's out of about 500 individuals, give or take. But this is something that every single inmate there has to endure. More importantly, there are some guards there that have a habit of physically assaulting anybody who looks at them different, anybody who whispers, anyone who says anything, talks back in any way, shape, or form. And you know, according to the code and the regulation, just like this jail here, they're required to have their body cam on and functioning with every single interaction with an inmate. It's not happening. Why? These are the things that we need to really get to the heart of and hold these people accountable. And I mean, it just goes on and on, a lot of these abuses and stuff. So the biggest thing right now, I think, at Northern Neck is the medical attention. Apparently there's one doctor, there's like 3 nurses. 2 of the nurses seem to be more sympathetic, but they're way understaffed. And more importantly, you know, if you have a headache, a toothache, anything like that, you know, it's on average you have to put in 7 requests. That's generally somewhere between a week to 2 week process. And especially over the last 2 to 3 weeks where they have no request forms, impossible. So
we can take them some. We have somebody that's willing to print them out and take them if you're having printer issues.
But we have, you know, we're working on it. You know, we're working on it with a lot of the guys. We are compiling a history of a lot of the requests that have been sent and what ultimately happened with them. So, you know, we're in the process of putting a lot of things together, and we're going to go after it pretty hard. I want to thank Caroline. I don't know if she's here yet. I want to thank Caroline for all the work that she's done. She's done a lot of FOIA requests and stuff to get us the codes, to get us contracts and that kind of stuff. So, you know, thank you, Caroline, for that. Very, very valuable, that stuff. So
I just want to say this is the first time that I've heard the recording of Jake. I was aware of what happened earlier when I talked to Donna from Cowboy Logic. But listening to it when Don asked if there was an advocate, I know I heard in my head right before Jake said it that when he told Don, "You're my advocate." So I know that we have, that our live stream viewers have really answered the task of holding these people accountable and following through with things that you can do. And we've, you know, on Ashley's banner, we have a slogan. It's, you know, we the people, be the people. So we need everybody to be the people. You know, we are the people, and we need to find our power in that. And I think that the jails, you know, they do things under cover of night and color of authority. And the only recourse these men have is for the American people to hold them accountable, because our government's damn sure not going to do it. So if you find it in your heart to donate to these men, or you have the resources to donate to these men or their causes or anything to make their life more comfortable, figure out how to get them a book, write them a letter, call your congressman, call the jail, and be diligent like American citizens are, because America's not just soil, it's a state of mind. So there are patriots in this country that feel as strongly as we do, and we understand that not everybody can be out here on this dismal corner in the DC gulag. But we know that your hearts are with us, and we appreciate your support every night. And just, you know, continue to pray and do what you can do to move this country forward. And on a less serious note, how about Paul Pelosi getting caught with his pants down? Just saying. Memes that Nicole said today is inappropriate and I can't share. But the next funniest one was, that's the second time Paul's been caught being hammered in the last couple months, because we all know he had his drunk driving issue that got swept under the rug. I didn't, the Twitter Nation did. So thank you, Twitter Nation. So, you know, you can't make this shit up, people. I'm just, this is real stuff. It's like, you know, but we also, you know, we watch the news today, and they are still, you know, calling it a break-in and saying, you know, trying to, right, so.
This is
They didn't just call it a break-in. We was watching a clip on MSNBC News that was spouting, hey, these MAGA people, they're going to ramp up their violence, and this is just one example.
Yeah, they blame the J6.
Are you kidding me?
They did.
Are you kidding me?
They did.
And the other thing, I don't know if Nicole mentioned something about this earlier. Did you talk about the Brazil election? Oh my goodness, the AP put out an article or a notice or whatever, was saying that the conservative leaning president was up by 1 million votes. Almost immediately, Bloomberg News puts it out going the other way.
Wow.
So I don't know what the CIA is doing, but I'm guessing the CIA is orchestrating some shit there. And we gotta, for the betterment of the world, we need to get our country back. We have our own election, and we need to make sure that this election does not get stolen. And do you hear the bullshit coming out? Hillary Clinton was talking about how MAGA is going to steal this election.
Yeah.
There's going to be a red tsunami, Hillary Clinton, and you know what? You can't stop it.
That's right.
And it won't be stolen. We already went through one stolen election. It's not going to happen a second time.
In reference to that, the Voter Reform Act specifically says the president at the time has the power to keep his presidency regardless of the vote.
Yeah, so the intimidation that they are going to try to put off on the American people about our upcoming vote is absolutely, it's just wrong, and it's not going to stop us from voting. They're already pre-planning that we're going to steal it, or if we do win it, we're never going to relinquish power. And all of it is just lies to put fear in the hearts of Americans who aren't awake yet to what's happening. They feel the need that they have to, but that's where we are. That's where we are as a country, because we can't trust what happened in Arizona, and Arizona for the most part is not going to own what happened there. So, just because they're guarding the ballot boxes, they're saying they're intimidating people and all of this. They don't really have any evidence to back that up. They just want people to think they're going to be afraid to go and vote. And then if they lose, they're going to blame all of that. It's just a vicious cycle, and sometimes I think we just got to block that noise out. As infuriating as it is, it's just noise that is holding us back from doing what we need to do. And giving them any credence is, we got all our live streamers that have the real news. So mainstream media needs to kiss it. They're not doing anything. They're just the talking heads of the left. So.
And the judge said that they were within their constitutional rights to guard those boxes.
Exactly.
So it was actually proven that yes, we can be there. There are two sheets that give guidelines to guard these boxes. And they're stating don't interact, don't carry weapons.
Right.
It is strictly video if you can, take photographs if you can, and don't go to the boxes where people are voting in person.
Right.
Inside, because that's a different law.
Right.
So the right has actually put out the guidelines to follow to make sure that we have valid elections.
Right, and it's sad, yeah. And luckily they have those guidelines, and from everything I've seen, they're following those guidelines, because they want to ensure an election with integrity. And, obviously we know how that is to have an election without integrity. So
we're following the law.
Right. Well, the thing is with all of this is that, our movement keeps bringing peace, but they keep wanting this war, and they just keep pushing back on us like this. And, eventually you do get tired of being pushed back, because we have to push. Yeah, they're bullies. They're just a bunch of bullies. And, you take it and take it till you can't take it no more.